Me Before You. Me Before You begins with its protagonist, Louisa Clark, losing her steady job at a cafe. Since her family's financial situation is increasingly worrisome, she takes the best available job in her small town. Care worker for a quadriplegic man. The man is Will Traynor, a former London businessman who has been seriously injured in an accident. Will is bitter when Lou first meets him and subjects her to cruelty and ironic asides. However, the two eventually began to connect, sharing jokes and treating one another with straightforward honesty. Will encourages Lou to explore interests outside of her comfort zone, while Lou gives Will practical assistance and helps him to feel less depressed. After several weeks on the job, Lou overhears a conversation between Will's mother and sister. She learns that Will has attempted suicide once and still determined to commit physician assisted suicide. He has agreed with his mother that he will wait 6 months before going to Switzerland to take his own life. Lou, who has grown fond of Will, is so upset that she nearly quits her job. She returns on the condition that she will be allowed to take Will on a series of adventures in the hopes of brightening his outlook and convincing him to stay alive. Lou, accompanied by Will's nurse Nathan, takes her charge on a series of outings with moderate success. They attend horse races, concerts, and art gallery shows, all while becoming closer with one another. Louisa eventually reveals to Will one of the reasons for her cautious personality. As a teenager, she endured a traumatic sexual assault on the grounds of the town's medieval castle. After of taking risks that might put her in a similar situation, Lou stays close to home and avoids new opportunities. Will comforts her and helps her to overcome this event in her past so that she can live more adventurously. While the two main characters are growing closer and learning from one another, Lou's life outside of work begins to fall apart. Her father loses his job, and her sister decides to return to university, putting the family in more financial distress. Various logistical conflicts result in Lou having no place to sleep in her family's busy house. She moves in with her boyfriend Patrick, but their relationship is increasingly distant and unsatisfying. This is largely due to Patrick's obsession with triathlons and fitness. Lou and Patrick break up after Patrick accuses Lou of being in love with Will. Knowing she needs a place to stay on weekends, Will invites Lou to spend the night in his family's house. When Will's 6 month waiting period is almost over, Lou takes him on vacation in a final effort to convince him to leave. She plans a trip to California, but Will becomes sick, making the trip impossible. At the last minute, Lou plans another trip to Mauritius. She, Nathan, and Will spend a blissful vacation at the beach. On their final night, Lou and Will kiss. Will though puts a stop to the kiss and tells Lou about his plan to commit suicide. She tells him that she has been aware of the plan and tries to convince him to leave so that they can be together. But Will refuses. He asks Lou to accompany him to Switzerland for his scheduled death. Lou reacts angrily, refusing to speak to Will when they return and refusing to go to Switzerland. Lou is distraught when she returns home. In spite of her family's best effort to cheer her, moreover, reporters swarm her house pursuing a story of the hot button issue of assisted suicide. She received a call from Will's intimidating mother, Camilla, begging her to come to Switzerland. Lou, having realized that she wants to see Will before he dies, leaves in spite of her mother's opposition to the suicide and her daughter's involvement. She arrives in Switzerland and has a final conversation with Will in which they express their love for one another. Lou gives Will her forgiveness and cries beside him, trying to show Will that he is loved in his final moments. After a time jump, Lou reads a letter from Will at a cafe in Paris. He explains to her how to obtain the fortune he has left her and commands her to live boldly by being adventurous and expressing herself. Lou finishes the letter and then stands up to explore Paris, apparently ready to live the life has encouraged her to live. Me Before You is a love story that will motivate watchers to live life boldly and live it to the fullest, to be grateful that they are healthy and whole. My favorite scene in the book was the last part because after reading it and after watching the movie, I was left in awe. I cannot fully elaborate the feeling I got after reading that scene. However, it was something remarkable and left a big impression on me. Me Before You gives us insight of life meaning in unique way. It answers questions about what kind of life you want and people struggle to be in the ideal condition of worth living. The author was intrigued by the case of Daniel James who persuaded to end his life after suffering for years. Me Before You is a good story. And a good story will gives you another point of view, even different way of thinking in life. It brings deep moral lessons that inspire you, change your mind of many things, and burn your spirit in spite of the controversial issues it might has. Hence, you can find that all in this book and the movie, in spite of the issue of dignitas between quadriplegic. You could invent many positive things in this book and in the movie that could light up energy in your life. Me Before You shows how someone changes other life within 6 months, reveals how big the world is, and push the other one to freeing the passion. It reveals the true color of people's struggle in their own version and the urge of what they call ideal life. Jojo wraps it all in one package with ups and downs, but there's something special score in your heart once you've read it. And that was my book review about the Me Before You.